What's shaking, guys? It's Feldy bringing you another Clash of Clans video, and today we are going to get into some Clan War League tips before you start your Clan War League week series here. It's my Cwl checklist, and first I want to just say I hope everybody is staying safe in this brutally cold winter. Frost that is coming through the nation. It is just crazy. It was negative 22 pretty much all day with negative 50 wind chills here in Wisconsin. So and that is moving east towards all my friends in New York, etc. Echo, shout out to you, brother. Stay safe. All right, so we have a CWL checklist, and the first thing is when you are going into your war, let me just kind of pull up this war log here. In War League, what you want to do is, obviously I can't get into any of like the stats and stuff. So what you want to do is, first and foremost, you want to figure out who is going to be in. Now, you don't want any inactives to be in. And then you don't want people that are active but not wanting to war in there, because what's going to happen is it takes the top 15 bases and it weights those. So that's where you get pitted up against. So even if you're, say, like for us, we are in Crystal League 2. If you put all your top bases in and say 3 of them don't war the entire time, you're going to go up against people that exact equal weight, and you don't want to do that. So you got to figure out who's going to be in, if anybody's on vacation, if anybody can't. So you got to like kind of lay a little calendar out and make sure that you guys have every single person that knows that they need to war on the certain days that they can. All right. Second, you are going to figure out who can attack on what days. So kind of what I just said is, let's say in our clan, I'm just going to pull it up here. Let's just say Keller can attack, say it starts Friday, so he can attack Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Monday he knows he's got something going on for work or school or whatever. Keller is going to let us know that Monday he's going to be out. So that way when we go back in, we know, okay, on day 4, we're going to have X, Y, and Z bases, and you're going to drop Keller and try to put somebody of his stature in. Now, Keller, he's a really awesome dude here. He's got a Town Hall 12, and he has been working vigorously to get that upgraded. So, all right, let's go back to tip number 3. You want to strategize your town halls. Now, in our clan, we're a mixed family war clan. So that means we've got people from Town Hall 12 down to basically Town Hall 7. Now, we never put anybody below a Town Hall 8 in our wars. A Town Hall 8 is the absolute lowest we'll go. Otherwise, we've learned we just get crushed. So try to get your sweet zone in there. So for us, it's a couple Town Hall 12s, a couple Town Hall 11s, and a couple Town Hall 10s. For the most part, that's what we run, and we try to just throw in the Town Hall 9s when we do the next tip, which is to scout your opponent's bases. So this takes a little bit of time. In fact, it takes quite a good bit of time. I did this and I created an Excel spreadsheet, and I will put a screenshot up right now. Bling. All right, so that is the Excel spreadsheet. You could pause it there if you really wanted to see it. That was what I created last time for our clan war for each day, and I broke down the clan war town halls, and I figured, okay, we can do X, Y, and Z bases on day 1. We can do X, Y, and Z bases on day 2. So we kind of tried to predict it and see, okay, these guys have 10 Town Hall 9s in. They're probably going to want to try to get some of their Town Hall 9 guys in the war, which ended up being true on some of the days. On the one day that we did end up having the majority of Town Hall 9s in there, we figured we could put some of our lower ones, and we got spanked. So word to the wise is make sure that you are smart about who you put in, and if they can attack well. Just because they're Town Hall 9 does not mean they can attack well. Just because they're Town Hall 12 doesn't mean they can attack well. All right. The next one is strategize what you're going to put in the clan castles. Now, what has been working for a lot of people is the ice golem, and the ice golem is the 5.5-second freeze right now, but when we donate it, it gets that extra second, so it gets a 6.5-second freeze on the enemy's troops. Now, you probably only want one in there, to be quite honest with you. Two of them are gonna what we found is it almost double freezes the exact same troops because they kind of die around the same time. So you want to probably do one of those. And what we found are witches are really good with those. Your normal, not your electric dragons, but your normal dragons and your baby dragons are really, really good coupled with those ice golems. So obviously, if they're Town Hall 12 and they have 40 housing spaces, you then have 25 to work with after the ice golem. So that means maybe a dragon and maybe a balloon, or maybe instead of the balloon, it's a wizard and an archer. What I actually found is I like putting barbarians in because they also will attack the heroes. And they're just a little bit beefier than those archers. So at 125 hit points right there versus the 48 right there. Now, obviously, we have the double level up bonus. So that would go to max, and whatever their max hit points is, I forget what it is. I'll have to go over here to my lab and just figure this out quick. So they would get 15 additional. So 140 of the hit points. All right. So fill your clan castles and make sure that you guys aren't just dumping that on all the Town Hall 12s. Remember, if you have that bonus in your clan to go up 2, say you only go up 1, and you've got a couple people that have closer to max troops, try to at least distribute that around, because those who are going to be distributing wall wreckers or stone slammers or any siege machine, those take a ton of gold. You don't want to give them a resource strap and drain them. So you want to kind of get back to yours. Okay. My next one is make sure you swap people in and out based on the days before you fill the clan castle troops. So this happened to us. We went into a war, and I'm just going to kind of pull up our classic war log here. I can't even get into the stats of that. Anyway, we ended up starting to fill the clan castle troops, and what ended up happening was we had to withdraw probably 4 of the people, and we wasted all that elixir. So word to the wise, make sure you have your exact schedule of who can go in on what days, and sometimes it happens maybe an hour or 2 after the war ends. Somebody will hop on and say, hey, I can't be in today. Life happens. That's what's going to be, kind of, you have to be flexible in this game. So you want to make sure that you get your guys swapped in and out before you start donating clan castle troops. Don't be so jumpy on filling those. It's okay to take a little bit of time. The next one, number 7 is on my list, is try to use attacks for your mirror, so that way the number 1 can attack the number 1. Now, this is only for really a mixed kind of league, or if the bases are similar to and you've got good attackers, right? Otherwise, you need to strategize and drop down. So, for instance, if number 3 in war cannot attack very well, have that number 3 go to number 8 and get the 3 stars. It does absolutely, and I will say this with 100% emphasis, zero good for your clan, for that attacker, and for all the loot bonuses for your entire clan for you to get 0 stars or 1 star. You absolutely need to go after your 2 stars to maybe 3 stars. And I know that sometimes it hurts the ego to drop down really far, especially if you're a Town Hall 12 or even a Town Hall 11 and you have to drop down to, like, say, Town Hall 8. Don't worry about that. Go for those stars and try to win your war. You get so much more bonus and medals if you get that win versus dragging your clan down and having a weak point, okay? So number 8 is to make sure all the bases are laid out properly. Now, with that being said, let me go to a war base of mine that is right here. So as you can see, oops, let me go back. So I've got my bases laid out, right? And I don't do the additional. But this one has the little button on there that's saying, hey, you've got the other buildings or something to place down. So if you had just upgraded your town hall level and you have new items in your base to lay down, you have to make sure that it's laid down properly, okay? So the other thing too to remember is make sure that you place your I'm trying to find my multi-mortar here. I don't even know where my multi-mortar is. Is it in here? Okay, so this guy, that guy, there's my multi-mortar. Okay, when it goes into your layout, make sure that you use your gear ups if you have them, because sometimes you won't want to actually have your archer tower be a short range, but if it's inside the base, it usually works better for short range. Make sure that you appropriately set all your Inferno Towers to what you think that they're going to be using. So that means whether or not it's multi or single. Lots of multi are running right now because of bat spells, but if you're lower level, you might not run into the bat spell quite as often because people might not have upgraded it since the nerf. Okay, make sure that your expos are set to air and ground, because you never know when an attack is going to come in from the air, and you always want that extra defense in your base. It does no good to have a static expo just sitting there when an air attack comes in, okay? And then make sure that all your defenses and everything else are placed in their traps and whatnot, okay? That is a huge, huge thing. Make sure that everything is laid out properly. You've got a really good war base going on, and that you know that it's not going to get 3 stars. Look up anti-3-star war bases. Come and check out some video tutorials from other people. I'm going to run a couple different videos here on anti-3-star bases. I've already done so from the last CWL. Check that playlist right down below. All right, that does it for today's video. This is just a good CWL checklist for you, and I hope that you guys do really well in your clan war leagues coming up. Make sure that you beef up your bases and you guys strategize as a clan together. And until then, stay warm, be safe, Feldy, peace.